Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. Live from the Den. Legacy Internet Radio. Thank y'all to everybody that has been rocking with us as we have gone through the night. We appreciate all the love, all the attention that we've gotten. A lot of folks been checking in and sending us Facebook Live hits and all that kind of stuff, and we appreciate that. We appreciate the love. You're listening to the flagship show of Legacy Internet Radio, and we thank you. Ain't No Half Step with Marcus J. At this time of the show, every single week, we always make sure that we give a little bit of history. It's time for the history piece of the show. Earlier tonight, we had the cousin of Alex Haley on the show with us, and it was an honor to meet her earlier a couple of years ago and have her record an interview, and we've done that interview, we've aired that interview on the show every year since we actually did it, and it's been my honor, and I appreciate the fact that she did it. I wanted to kind of give a little bit of history, though. Back in January of 1977, Roots aired on television. It was the most watched miniseries at the time. 100 million people watched it, and that's not an exaggeration. Legitimately, 100 million people watched it. It was a book, of course, that was written in the late 60s, early 70s. I don't remember exactly when it was written, or I don't remember the history on exactly when it was written, but I know that it took 12 years to put together. 12 years. Alex Haley, of course, was the man who got the stories of the old African sitting on the porch with his grandmother, Cynthia, in Henning, Tennessee, who was told about the old African who was taken from Africa, West Africa, when he went to get a piece of wood to build a drum for his younger brother. And he was never seen again. And we later found that he was brought to America during slavery, and he married Mammy Bell, who was the maid of the house. And they had a daughter called Kizzy. And Kizzy, of course, was sold off after she forged a letter for Noah to run off. The key with that was, though, she shouldn't have even been able to write. She wasn't somebody who should have known how to write because she was a slave. And her son, of course, was born once she was sold off, and she was raped by the slave master, and she bore George, Chicken George, who, of course, was the flamboyant one, who, of course, was a cockfighter and all that kind of stuff, and he had a whole bunch of children. The movie only showed you about 3 or 4, but he ended up having more like 10 or 12 kids. And he bore Tom the blacksmith. Tom the blacksmith bore Cynthia, who bore Irene, who was the mother of Alex Haley. And I always like to tell this story this time of year because it shows that we as black folk can actually take some time and try to find our lineage, but many of us can't actually do it. Look at what Alex Haley had to go through to actually find his lineage, to find out who his grandmother was, and his great-grandmother was, and his great-grandmother was, and his great-grandmother was, grandfathers, of course. And it's crazy because we know that other cultures can speak exactly to who they are, where they came from, what their culture is, what their religion is. And many of us, black people, African Americans, aren't able to do that. And so I always like to talk about Roots this time of year. The movie came out in January of 1977, right before Black History Month. And I always like to talk about it this time of year because it makes me think about history, makes me think about black history. It also makes me think about how important it is for us to make sure that we come together, we band together, and we build with one another. Family reunions is not something that was prevalent before the movie Roots came out. Like before all of that, yeah, we knew who our cousins was and all of that kind of stuff. But one of the things that you heard Miss Beverly talk about in the interview that we did earlier tonight, she talked about how family reunions became a staple of the black community on the heels of watching this movie, because it was important, and we realized how important it was for us to know who one another was, and how important it was for us to build and bond with regards to our history. So I always like to have this conversation this time of year. I could say so much more, but in the interest of time, I'm going to leave it there. Ain't no half step on Marcus J, live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio. That was our history moment. At this time, I always give everybody an opportunity to close out the show with their rant and with their closings. And so tonight, I'm going to start with my sister, who is the co-host of I Got Something to Say with our brother Tavon on Saturday afternoons from 2:30 until 4:30. My sister Nate.
What's up? What's up?
Your final word, your closing in the show tonight. What you got, sis?
Well, you said it already. You led into it. I wanted to let everybody know that I'm the new co-host on Saturdays with Tavon. I got something to say, so I need you guys to tune in from 2:30 to 4:30 every Saturday. No soapbox is too small, so give us a call. If you got something on your mind, email it to us. Give us a call, Legacy Internet Radio. I'm looking forward to it. Thank you for your support.
You got it. Ain't no ass step on Marcus J. Big Bro Joe, it's time for you to close it out, brother. What you got, man?
I'm going to say this, and this was sent to me from a good brother of mine. It says, life has never given me lemons. It has given me anger issues, anxiety, and a serious love of alcohol, and a dislike for stupid people. If you stupid, stay off my damn line.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Okay. Dating Pool Diva. Yeah, I don't know how you follow that.
I don't know how I follow up on that.
Yeah, Diva, you up next, rather.
Well, I just wanted to say, thank you guys for participating in Diva Diaries. I want to thank my supporters who came out to my recent book signing. The other Saturday, 2 Saturdays ago, we had a book signing event at Brewers Cafe, and we had a lot of fun. I sold a lot of books, enjoyed some good food and drinks and company, so it was a good time. And so I just want to thank everybody who came out, you, Marcus J, Lissa P, all my friends that came out. It was awesome. I'm going to ignore that look. Also, I wanted to remind everyone who likes this type of forum where we discuss relationships, dating, love, to come out to the Love Revolution. The next one is the 3rd Saturday in March. I believe that's the 18th from 4 to 7, and we'll be at Kitchen 64. So if you like this type of discussion, we'll be out in the community having fun, drinks, food, and all that good stuff, and having these discussions. Okay? That's all I have to say. Thank you.
You got it, my brother Gene, making his debut on the show. Rants and Closings is where you have an opportunity to have your final word in a very, very concise and brief way. Whatever is in your spirit and in your mind, it is your time to say whatever you want, my brother. What you got?
All I got to say is this. Legacy Radio.
Who?
Legacy Internet Radio.
That's what I thought you said.
Is the bomb. You can't go wrong. Drop the mic on it. Nothing else to say.
Just don't drop it, because I ain't got no money to buy another one. Ain't no half step on Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. Lot of love tonight. We appreciate everybody who's rocked with us. A lot of folks in Facebook Live and in social media who checked in with us tonight. And I appreciate you guys for rocking with us tonight. Special thank you to the Legacy Internet Radio family, the folks who joined us in studio, my sister Nate, my brother Big Bro Joe, Dating Pooh Diva, and our brother Gene. Ain't No Hashtag Marcus J airs every Monday night from 7 until we finish Eastern on Mondays, and live in radio on Tuesdays, Joy and Body Radio and Absolutely Alphas on Wednesdays, on Thursdays, All Throttle Radio. Whoever the hell that is that didn't put their phone on vibrate, yes, I'm calling you out. On Friday nights, you got the Woke Squad. Saturdays, you got I Got Something to Say, followed by the Bob Marley and the Family Reggae Mix that airs overnight, taking you into Sunday morning when absolutely, on Amplified Gospel picks up Sunday mornings until Irreconcilable Differences with Big Rube airs on Sundays at 3:30, followed by Twa After Dark. So got a lot of programming here. Legacy Internet Radio, we're growing. We're, about to take over the world. We got Legacy Media Group that we're getting ready to launch. Of course, we got Legacy TV that's getting ready to launch on Comcast and Verizon here locally in the capital city, Richmond, Virginia. That will be beginning on March 17th, Friday night, 6 p.m. Our very first interview is going to be with our brother, Coach Reggie Shipp of the Capital City Reapers. And so I look forward to bringing the brother to you. He was on the air with us on the radio show last week when we were live from Brewers Cafe. He's going to be our first guest in the TV show on Legacy TV. So we look forward to that. At this time of the show, we always profile a missing and or exploited child. Tonight is no different. We're looking for Bartholacqua Cruz. She is from Richmond, Virginia, missing since June 6, 2016. We profiled her many times here on the show. She's still missing from the capital city, and we need to find her. She's a black female. She stands 5'2", 150. Last seen on June 6, 2016, wearing a one-piece black jumpsuit and a black wedge-style shoes. If you've seen our sister, Bartholacqua Cruz, please contact the National Center for Missing and or Exploited Children on their website, missingkids.com, or contact them at 1-800-LOST, 1-800-843-5678. Or contact the Richmond City Police Department at 804-646-5125. Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. It's time for me to close it out with my rant. It's time for me to close it out with my closing. And y'all, I got to tell y'all, I don't normally do this. I don't normally care about this. But I'm going to go in an area that y'all just simply not used to hearing me go. Why Remy Ma do that to Nicki Minaj, y'all? Why she do it, y'all? It's a trip because I haven't been one that really cared about hip-hop music in many years. It's been years. I think the last, new artist that I bought was like Eminem. He was like the last new guy who I bought. When I heard how she went in on her, it was so mean and so nasty and so mean-spirited. I totally didn't get why she did it, because I'm just detached from it. But I will say this. I miss hip-hop. I miss the fact that you can listen to it and you can get bars, you can get beats, you can get all of that, and every once in a while you'll get somebody that's so pissed at somebody else that they'll do what Remy Ma did to Nicki Minaj. I think back to Hit 'Em Up when Tupac ended his beef with Biggie. You can love Biggie all you want, but when you heard Hit 'Em Up, it was over. You can love Jay-Z all you want, but when you heard Ether, it was over. You can love Kumo D all you want, but when you heard Jack the Ripper, it was over. It was a wrap. You know what I mean? And you can love cannabis all you want, but when you heard I Shot Ya, it was over. And you can love Nicki Minaj all you want, but when you heard Sheetha, it was over. And so you got a lot of folks who want to play the overly conscious, so woke card, and talk about, oh, you got your little girls who are watching and she shouldn't have went there and it was so hard and all that kind of stuff. And look, man, I get it. I'm conscious too, but there's a thing of being so woke that your ass got insomnia and nobody wants to stay awake all freaking night. And if it's pure hip hop, if it's just having some fun hip hop, if it's you piss me off and now I gotta break your spirit and your life hip hop, then I'm okay with that. Because when Busy B went on Kumo D, the first time he lost a beef, it was alright then. It was alright when LL did it to him. It was alright when LL did it to Cannabis. It was alright when Tupac did it to Biggie. It was alright when Nas did it to Jay-Z. And guess what? Nicki will survive because Remy Ma did it to her.
She bodied her.
That's my Murr. Marcus's unrelated rant that ain't got nothing to do with what we in here talking about tonight. Y'all, that's the end of the show. I want to thank everybody for rocking with us tonight. There were so many people that I can't thank everybody because then we'll be here until it's time for do next week's show. But just know that I rock with y'all because y'all roll with me. I want to remind everybody that independence is the key to building your legacy. I also want to say peace to all the stars and all of the squares. In the abundance of water, the fool is thirsty. Those are the words of Bob Marley, who you hear singing in the background. Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. will replay in its entirety immediately following this airing right now. We shall be back next week on our 4-year anniversary of Legacy Internet Radio. We're going to have special guests. Y'all, I got a band that's coming in here. 4 16-year-old girls. 2 black girls, 2 white girls that are about as dope as I ever seen. If you close your eyes and you just hear them, you going to be like, yo, what did I just hear? They dope. And they're going to be here with us in our 4-year anniversary next week on the first Monday of the month. Of course, we're going to spend the entire month of March celebrating the 4-year anniversary of Legacy Internet Radio. We got originals in the room right now and some new friends and new family. Next week, we're going to have as many of the original crew and the new friends and family in here as we can. And we can only do it because y'all rock with us every single week, which means we're going to continue to roll with y'all. Appreciate y'all. Be back next week. Peace, y'all.